Let's take a minute and just maybe like hug and squeeze our bodies. And do that in any way that feels good to you. And I invite you to greet your body also in other ways you might want to look at it. You might want to close your eyes and feel it from within. Continuing to breathe and letting your breath meet your touch in your hands. You might even use your voice, and that could be your internal voice or your external voice, indoor or outdoor voice. But you might even use your voice to say, hey, body. You could greet certain parts. And as you feel your body, you are touching a phenomena of Earth. As you feel your body, you are touching a form that has been created through consumption and metabolism and transformation of the same building blocks, elements, particles, molecules, atomic structures. You are made of the same stuff that makes plants and other animals, right? Think about all the food you've eaten in your whole life. Where did it come from? Oh, you were eating plants. Maybe some of you are eating animals. That nourishment came from the earth. And so as you're touching your body, just imagine that you're touching earth in a moment of earth's potentiality, that earth can become animal. And then holding yourself if that feels okay. And maybe let's rock ourselves a little bit. And you can rock yourself in any way that feels intuitive for you, any direction. As you rock yourself, allow your fluid weight to pour and spill. And as you rock yourself, imagine that you're holding an ocean, holding a body of water. You might imagine how water that has been in all of its many forms, its forms of humidity and ice and mud and river and rain. In this moment, some of that water is in your body. Some of that water is your blood, the fluid that your cells are floating in, your lymphatic tissues, the fluids in your organs, the fluid that runs up and down your spine. As you rock your body, say hello to water. Just this amazing substance that came from space. As you breathe, saying hello to oxygen and air. And as you rock the weight of your body, rocking the weight of minerals, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the sodium, the potassium that are helping the synapses of your nerves sense your movement right now. Just greeting your body, this vessel of space. And then let your hands find a place that feels like an honoring for your body. I often feel like touching my heart space does that, but anywhere on your body can be an altar. So bringing your hands to touch your body, and as you breathe and as you sense the stuff that's here, just invite you to also imagine or observe the consciousness inside of you that's sensing. As you notice and feel your breath, notice how consciousness is present. Consciousness is already in your breath. All you have to do is just tune in. It's already there. Noticing any part on your body where you feel weight, where you feel gravity. Noticing that consciousness is in gravity in your body. Consciousness is already there. Now, taking another moment or two, just in silence, I'll stop talking soon. And in this silence, let's really listen and listen through our tissues and our cells and see if we can listen for consciousness or observe or sense into consciousness, the substance that pervades all of your tissues and maybe even out and into the space around you. And then bring your attention back to your breath, following your exhalations. And observe a couple of exhalations and see if you can follow them all the way to the end, all the way to the end of the exhale. And only if it feels comfortable and safe in your body, you might check out what it feels like to linger at the end of the exhale, expanding the space a little bit. And then notice when the inhale is ready to arrive. Kind of get curious about that space at the end of the exhale, right before the inhale begins. And I just want to invite an imagination, take it if it works for you, that your breath is full of the most velvety, rich, black space. And as you inhale and exhale, that space is expanding and condensing. And at the end of the exhales, you might just imagine how, just as in the origin of our universe, gravity got so great, it pulled all kinds of stuff together. You might just imagine that that's what's happening at the end of your exhale, allowing for the gravity of the exhale to help you envision that maybe the birth of the universe is happening here in your breath. And then just playing in the space before your inhale begins, getting really curious in that space, and just noticing the feeling of the inhale ready to arrive. So we're not trying to impose on our breath right now or force it to stay out or come in. Just getting really curious about the end of the exhale and the beginning of the inhale. And then you might get curious about the nature of the inhales and notice how they expand and spread out. And every inhalation is going to be different. Every inhalation will reach into different shapes in your body. And just let the inhalations express themselves, express into their full breaths, however full that feels like, however big, however small. And then take it if it works for you. Maybe start to imagine that your inhalations are explosions of light. That at the end of your exhale, the gravity of space is pulling into a mystery, and then something is happening. And then inhalation is being called forward, and just imagine maybe that inhalation looks like a star, expanding into your body. And just as some stars are big and some stars are small, every star has its own shape. Every breath has its own shape. And then begin to notice the fullness of the inhalation when the inhalation begins to conclude. What does that feel like? How do you know that you're done inhaling? Getting curious about that place too. Maybe you want to linger there. Maybe there's a moment of pause as the inhale spreads out right to its limits. maybe, just maybe, the end of your inhale could take an imaginary shape of the radiance of a star extending out of your body, beyond your body, through the luminosity of your skin, through the length of your spine. Imagining how far out each star might spread, each breath might spread. And can you bring consciousness even all that distance, sensing out into the space, all the way around your body? And then noticing the return, the release. Allowing the exhale again to make itself known, following its pathways. As you exhale, you might imagine how when stars die, their light and their stuff and their substance explodes out as they also collapse in. So the gravity of their bodies becomes so dense, so compact, that just like how the universe was created in the Big Bang, that gravity condenses, 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 getting hotter and hotter, wetter and wetter, and then combust. And the bodies of the stars expand and spread and move out into space as they also move back into their end. It's taking maybe 2 more breaths. If it works for you, imagining your breaths as the births and deaths of stars. The end of the exhale bringing you so deep, so dark, so thick and full of stuff. All that stuff, so rich, so full. Coming into being, expanding, spreading out, stars doing what they do, nuclear fusion, hydrogen and helium. As you breathe in, oxygen meeting hydrogen, spreading out. Stars live a whole lifespan, just like us, beginning, middle, and all the spaces in between. They reach their full growth, however big or small they might be. And when they're ready to return, they give all their stuff back to space. The end of your next exhale, turn your head down, and if it feels okay to bring your hands to your face, let your hands find your face. If you prefer not to touch your face, you can just hold your hands kind of in front of your head and let your head nod to your heart. Let your hands hold your head. And then you could give an energy bath to your face, just kind of clearing the space in front of it. Or if it feels okay, you can touch your face. And let's just kind of rub the skin around the forehead, smoothing the eyebrows out. Before we open our eyes, rubbing the space from the cheekbones, from the inner eyes out to the temples, and rubbing our temples. Rubbing down our jaws to our throats, stroking the throat, and then coming back to the heart, rubbing the heart. And when you're ready, you're going to open your eyes, but not look at the screen first. And I'd suggest maybe taking a big stretch with your arms. Oh, maybe taking a twist with your body. Looking over your shoulders, rolling your head a little bit.